I've had so many people ask, how do I connect to our ancestors? Like, how can I communicate with the ancestors? How can I get messages from the ancestors and all that? And today, I want to tell you something. First of all, our ancestors are real, and our ancestors are not separate from us. You are your ancestors. You, the one watching this video, you are your ancestors. If you track your DNA back and back and back, you are going to realize that you are still the same person who has lived before, and you shall forever live. So you should always know that our ancestors love and support us throughout our lifetime. People have so many different ways on how to connect with their ancestors, but back here in my culture, I am a Muganda from Buganda Kingdom, and I am from Uganda. That is the country. So back here, usually we make fire. That's why you are seeing smoke. I'm gonna show you. We make fire. This fire is called a choto. If there are many, we call them a bioto. I'm gonna step out a little bit. We call them a bioto. So in order for you to, like, put up a very good relationship with your ancestors, this is one of the basic things that you need to do, or something that you need to at least know how to do in our culture. That is why usually if you see in my posts, I usually recommend fire, even if it's a candle, even if it's what. So on a choto, you get firewood, which looks like this. I'm going to show you right here. So firewood looks like this. This is firewood. Um, I put some more here and some more here, which you are going to use to make the fire. And this has been traditionally going on in my culture. I think even in other cultures, you can tell me in the comment section, how do you do it? So usually I personally make a choto to give thanks and praises to my ancestors. When I make the choto, I call upon my ancestors. It depends on how you communicate with them. But the point is, if you really need support from the ancestors, because they're going to support you anyway, they are always here to support you throughout your life. You know it, you don't know it, they're always here guiding you. They are part of your spirit team, okay? They are also your spirit guides. So you need to make sure you have a good relationship with them, or with it. I don't want to call them, with it. You have to have a good relationship with it, so that you can be able to understand the messages that they pass to you through music and through other signs and synchronicities that the universe keeps on showing you. So when I make my fire, when I make my choto, I kneel down. Let me show you. So like I said, when I make the choto, I kneel down. It is very, very important to kneel down so that you show respect to the ancestors in my culture. I mean, I don't know how you do it in yours, but here we do it like that. So I kneel down and make this choto. So this is what the fire looks like. You keep on adding firewood according to your capacity. So I got firewood yesterday. Usually you can buy it here in Uganda, or you can go to the forest and you know get the firewood. But the point is, if you really want the universe to support you in all your endeavors, make sure you put in the work, both physically and also spiritually. Okay, it is not a matter of just saying, oh my god, I manifest, I write, I journal, I meditate. Also put in some spiritual work. For me, the spiritual work that I put in, it is for my ancestors. I make that fire and other things that come with it, because there is more on my side that I am supposed to do, things that I don't want to show you on camera, but though I can show you this. So this, I think it's called a calabash. So there is is it alcohol? No, wine. Some wine traditionally made. So this is called a arrow or a spear. I'm not good with English, but in my language we call it a fumo. So this represents what ancestor specifically is here, because usually what we do, we have like a different yoto, different choto for a particular ancestor. So this particular ancestor is represented by this spear or arrow. Spear, this is a spear, yeah. And this specific ancestor likes to drink alcohol. I personally don't take alcohol, but my ancestors do. So this is how I appreciate them and acknowledge their presence. And through this, my ancestors, easily respond back to me. They show that they see that I have showed my gratitude to them. They see that I have showed my love to them. So I don't know how you do it, but make sure if you are watching this video, you learn how to acknowledge your ancestors. Like they say, the simple things in life matter. You cannot give God or spirit or angels anything in return for saving you, for loving you, for always, coming through for you. But you can always do this simple, like the simple gestures, like making a fire. So I make this fire. It can burn the whole night, the whole day, every day. If I have the capacity to buy firewood, I do that. If it's every day, I can do that. And I'm gonna tell you something. This is gonna sound crazy for people who are not from my culture, but usually, in my culture, when, for example, the ancestors are not so happy with you, or maybe they've been guiding you, and you decided to take like another path that wasn't good, and then you got into trouble, you have to make a fire for the ancestors and ask for forgiveness and ask them to, calm down, and so that they can guide you again, because they are part of you. It is you. So you need to come back, like, and I'm sorry. By making a fire, there is nothing like, oh, make a sacrifice. I don't personally shed blood. I don't cut animals. I don't do anything with sacrifices. It's all about my fire, baby. Okay. So another thing is that sometimes when people like, for example, there are people in my culture who deny their ancestors. They're like, oh my God, the ancestors are evil and devil. So usually it is said that the ancestors, you know, show them, okay, we are evil, let us be evil. So when they come back home, the first thing they need to do is to make the fire, and the ancestors will set you free. I personally, when I was going through my spiritual journey, there was a time I didn't know about the ancestors so much, but the first thing that I was told was make a fire. Make a fire, they are gonna come down. And honestly, it has worked for me. Every time I feel like my life is moving the other way, I don't understand things, like I make a fire. I make a fire. This fire right here, even if I want money, like I do meditate, I manifest, I journal, I do the 360, I do all the things, but I make sure I make the fire for my ancestors. And that is how things get easy for me in my life. Like I'm never suffering, I'm never going through hell. It's always like, if hell is about to come, my ancestors always step in every time I make a fire. I don't know if I'm making sense, but I wanted to teach you something that do something small. I usually tell people, set up an altar for you and your ancestors, so that they can always know that you acknowledge their presence, that you appreciate them, just the way you would go out there and buy something for someone you love. This is something that you can do for them, like, like simple things. And trust me, blessings are going to be pouring into your life in ways that you cannot understand. And another thing I can add is, like, they might call you a witch just like they do to me, but it's okay. Let them talk. They always say only God knows. So your relationship with God, with spirit, it's between you and God and it. So embrace it and accept yourself for who you are. All right, hope you learned something. And we say thank you, Jaja. We say bweza Jaja in my culture. So guys, bweza nyo, bweza dala, bweza mirembe. Akume.